Okay, welcome everyone. It is the regular city council meeting for Monday, January 11th, 2021. I will call the meeting to order, and can we stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have roll call, please, Teresa?
Yes. Rich Peterson,
Yes?
Matt Girardi,
Yeah.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Hattie Hoffman.
Number 4, approval of agenda. Does anybody have any questions on that or anything you'd like to add? If not, can I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
Second.
And roll call.
Who seconded that?
Somebody, me and somebody else.
Yes, I'm Art Russell. Sure.
Give it to Rich.
Okay. Matt Girardi,
Yep.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Hattie Hoffman. Yes. Rich Peterson.
Yes.
Number 5, we will skip and everybody sign up. Number 6, the consent agenda. Did anybody have, I had a question on there, Teresa. If I can find my, it was on one of the, oh, on the gas, for last month in November, the balance, am I reading that right? It was down to 303, and then it jumped back up to 450. Was that a,
That could, I'd have to,
okay, that's fine. That was the only thing that I had saw. I just had a question about that,
I'll make
so
note of it.
I didn't know if that was a typo or what that was, so. Does anybody else have anything, questions? If not, can I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
And roll call.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Hattie Hoffman. Yes. Rich Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Girardi.
Yes.
Number 7, update on Marvin Edition and consider approval of signing an addendum number 2 for IIW Professional Services for the Marvin Edition. Cody is with us. Cody, is there really much to add on this, or is it kind of self-explanatory?
Essentially, where we're at with the subdivision is we're finalizing the plans. Probably within the next week or so, we'll be sending those to the city for you guys to take a look at for your next council meeting, and then approval at the next council meeting. After that, we'll go out to bid. We'll have the public hearing and go out to bid, and make a selection. So we're kind of slated for council approval
Anybody have any questions for Cody regarding anything? So basically, yeah, if we approve this tonight, like Cody said, we can hopefully start. There is a few things, we would have to do first, I guess, too, as far as, legalities, as far as taking ownership of the property, but, after that.
That's kind of a question I had of Marvin, were they aware of where we're at?
Yeah, I know Teresa's kind of been in touch with them too, as far as,
Okay.
where we're sitting and kind of the route we're gonna go, so, they seem to be okay with everything. So, with that being said, if anybody has any questions? If not, can I have approval for the addendum number 2?
Yeah, let's go forward. I'll make a motion to approve addendum number 2.
Second,
I'll second.
and roll call.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Patty Hoffman. Rich Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Girardi,
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Cody.
Thank you, Cody.
Thank you.
Alright, thank you.
Number 8, discuss and consider approval to appoint Stephen Thayer as police chief and set pay. Stephen is here tonight. Does anybody have, questions for Stephen, or? I guess, let's see. I know there was, Teresa sent out some information, over the weekend in the packet, as far as, pay scale and, kind of some surrounding cities and where they're at.
The police committee actually met, with Stephen on Monday, January 4th. And to see if Stephen was even interested. Stephen did, show interest and is interested in the position. We are looking at a salary of $57,000 a year. However, that would be under a 5-year contract, with years 2 through 5 being a 1.5% increase. You know, the nice thing I would say about this, we didn't present Stephen with the offer, Stephen presented it to us. So I think that says a lot right there, that, you know, Stephen has an interest in Preston and staying with Preston. So I know 57,000 seems like a lot of money, but in this day and age, and with smaller cities, towns, it's difficult to keep a qualified police officer. And by the time you spend between 10 and 15,000 on certifying an officer, and then you have a rookie officer, there's something being said, paying and providing that. And I will let Stephen kind of speak for himself.
Okay, like you said, we met, I think it was a pretty good, productive meeting, covered a lot of topics, issues, expectations, from both sides. For transparency's sake, I do need to tell you, I do have an interview for the county. I told Teresa about it as soon as I found out. I think communication transparency is huge. I've also had an offer at the prison, but I can tell you I will not be taking that, because I'm not going back there. But I do enjoy Preston, working here. The community's great, it's been great to me since day one. Different things I'd like to do is get back to more, like we post with the Facebook, interacting with the communities that way as well as in the community. I would like to look for grants. I know I already checked out, the GTSB grant is, you get it every year, it's just a traffic program. It's up to $4,500 a year they give you for salaries, equipment. And basically, they give you a calendar and set weeks or days throughout the year. You do traffic, run traffic, seat belts, any safety issues, and you just log it down, and then the governor's office just compiles all the numbers. That's a pretty easy grant to get. I pretty much applied for it and get it. There's lots of grants out there for equipment, for training, all kinds of stuff. That'd be something I'd definitely be interested in looking into. I mean, the worst they can say is no, I guess. If you don't apply, you're not gonna ever get it. Any questions for me?
Can I ask when is your interview with the county?
Thursday.
Thursday? Okay. Okay.
I don't have any questions for Stephen. I just kind of want to reiterate what Teresa and Stephen have said. You know, we met Monday, and I think it was a very good meeting. I think we learned a lot about each other, you know, as what Stephen desires, you know, what some of the city desires are, the expectations and stuff like that. And no disrespect to anything in the past, but I really think we have an opportunity with Stephen and Teresa's help as guidance to have good structure and take our department to the next level. You know, Stephen's got a lot of good ideas, a lot of things he can do for us, and I think he's from the meeting on Monday night, he's very eager to jump on some of those, take the reins and go from there. You know, one thing we talked about when we had the meeting last week, we didn't know where Miles stood at that point. You know, now we do. You know, the conversation Monday was, depending on what Miles did, would we need a full-time officer or would we need a part-time officer, because we're kind of in limbo. But I think, you know, I guess from just my perspective, obviously the council needs to talk about that, would be with that 3-year contract now, we have more direction that we probably need an officer and stuff like that. So I think it might be a great opportunity for Stephen to, you know, what a great way to build his department. You know, he'd be part of who we'd want to be in that position and work with and stuff like that. So I really, after our meeting, I went home and was really energized and was really excited about what Stephen, I think, can do for our community, and Teresa's excitement to help him get there. You know, so like Teresa stated, I know where we were at with Scott, and where we're asking, you know, for Stephen to be at. But when she set out those comps and we asked her to do that, she got on that right away, and things have changed. You know, look at this year, 2020, where past year 2020, where it's gone, and law enforcement, nobody's getting into it. You know, and it's tough, and it's scary, and a lot of things going on. So I think I'm definitely in favor of that wage for Stephen. Again, if you go to a new officer and we send the academy, we're gonna have way more cost than that in it. You know, I don't have the numbers here, but what's the academy, $10,000-$12,000, plus you're paying somebody to work why that person's at the academy, so you're still paying those wages on top of it. And again, you're starting with somebody new. We have somebody that knows our community, knows our people, wants to be a big part of our community. So I hope that the council will really look at giving Stephen the opportunity. I think he's well deserving of it, and I think he will take the bull by the horns and make it his department. And I think one thing we need to ask of each other, and Stephen included, if there's something that we see that we want Stephen's attention on, or vice versa, Stephen needs from the council, goes back to that communication and transparency. I think that's one thing we really talked about heavy, last Monday. You know, don't stew on it. We wanna be able to support all of our employees, you know, so we wanna have their back. So if there's anything that we have a question on, reach out to Stephen or anybody, any of our employees, so we can do that.
I guess if anybody else wants to comment, kind of their feelings too, what they're in favor of, if not, if somebody wants to make a motion.
Stipulation being that any credit card purchase is accompanied by a receipt or tracking or packing list.
They have been.
Yeah, they should be.
Mhm.
I would hope so.
I would like to see that in the report instead of just,
It's on the invoice, we're running a separate report called the invoice register, which gives more detail.
that's my only stipulation.
Yeah, if there's no other conversation, I'll make a motion to, hire, Stephen Thayer, offer Stephen Thayer the position of police chief with the, salary as Teresa has down with the $57,000 offer, year 2, 3, and 4, and 5 with a 1.5% increase and a 5-year contract. That your true statement, Teresa?
Yes, it would.
Second? I'd second that. Roll call?
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Patty Hoffman,
Yes.
Rich Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Girardi,
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes. Okay.
But I just wanna make it clear, I'm still going to the interview,
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Right,
but
yep.
I absolutely appreciate it.
That's just our offer.
Yeah, yep.
I absolutely appreciate
Yep.
it.
And yeah, and I think the council, you know, I think they want you to, you know, do your homework and,
Mhm.
you know, figure out what you wanna do. So yeah, like Matt said, that's our offer and, yep, we'll be waiting to hear.
When do you think, I mean, we won't hold you to a date.
I think they're in a pretty big hurry to find out, who they wanna hire because they're short too, Cody Severine resigning, so,
Think they'll be pretty
all
quick.
I've gotten was, an email saying when I had to, when my interview was, but when I went up, I had to drop paperwork off at the sheriff's office, talking with Karen Wells, the secretary up there, and she didn't say, but she made it sound like they're kinda hurting, cause, you know, the guys are kinda spread thin right now, so I would think within the next couple of weeks,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's only, I think, 5 of us total interviewing, so,
Okay.
I think they're doing all the interviews that day,
Okay.
is what it sounds like.
Just
So as
let-
soon as I know anything, obviously, I'm gonna let you guys know.
Yeah, yep,
Have Teresa know.
Yep.
Awesome.
sounds good.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, number 9, discuss and consider approval of employing part-time police officers to assist with coverage and set pay. That was also, kinda included there too, the information Teresa sent out, what Bellevue and Wacokota and Cascade, pay per hour.
What was Makoka's, do you remember?
Did I have a part-time on that one?
Yeah, 2404, 2020, 2021, 2476. One thing we talked about last Monday night too, was this topic, obviously.
Could
And-
everybody speak up? It's being stated that it's difficult to hear
Okay.
council members, so.
Yeah, we talked about part-time, people, last Monday in our meeting with Stephen. And obviously, we're needing part-time help right now with just having one officer and the miles contract and everything else. So Stephen has some individuals he's able to use, but we talked about, you know, for $16 an hour, what kind of energy are you getting from an officer to come in and do their job? Are you getting somebody that's gonna come in and excited about working nights or something like that for $16 an hour, or should we pay, we need to be more competitive, which should be what Bellevue's doing, and comes in and does the job we want? You know, I'm not saying anybody is or not, but we all know if you're making $16 an hour, or you're competitive with other towns are in the area, you're gonna get a better bang for your buck, you know, so. We want people, we wanted, part-time officers that are gonna come in, be excited about coming to town, you know, do what Steven asked them to do, or whatever they feel is going on that night or that day, and do that. So we really thought we needed to, step up our game. We were behind the times, and, that's where Teresa did the research and came up with those numbers. And again, thanks for, Steven, for bringing it to our attention.
So we're looking to increase that salary from it's currently $16.50 per hour, and raise that up to $19.
How many people are you thinking, Stephen, for?
Well, right now I have 2 people for sure.
Okay.
Melissa Schmidt, from Bellevue PD, and then Chief McPherson. I'm still gonna reach out to maybe Joel Driscoll, I know he works part-time up in Bellevue, and, JT with Macokota PD. It's nice to have, you know, several, just in case,
Oh, yeah.
life gets busy and something comes up.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have a list, you know, I can send out a mass message, you know, these days are open, you know, please let me know what you can work and stuff.
Yeah.
This is just an on-call basis if we're short at certain times,
Well,
if there's something going on.
With it only being me right now, I mean, I'd like to see him fill as many days as possible.
Gotcha.
Just, you know, just the more coverage the merrier. And then with that also, I don't wanna, you know, have county down here all the time and then get frustrated with us because, you know, nobody's on. I know, they had that with Sebula for a while when nobody was ever working and they were getting called down there all the time. And I get the frustration, I mean, yeah, it's part of the county, but, you know, if there's already a department there.
Yep.
So, I mean, it would just help them out, I think, and then just more coverage out here, you know. The biggest part is being seen, you know.
Which would be covered in our budget, because it would have been for our office already.
Right,
you know, so
right, yeah.
it wouldn't go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And that would just be, in the meantime, until we got a full-time officer hired, and then it would just be vacations or whatever, like in the
Yeah.
past, right?
Yep. And so I think along with that, Teresa, we kinda wanted to approve, Chief McPherson and Melissa tonight too, if possible, right? So I
Yes.
could get their paperwork going. and
We
start as
really
soon as
wanted to
possible.
kind of keep it general, that, you know, I think you're looking to fill, if you can, 40 additional hours.
If possible, it'd be great. I don't know if we'll be able to, but
Yeah,
anything will help right now.
so that we have full coverage. So kind of keeping it open, that he has the authority for part-time help
With your approval?
with
I would
my,
say.
yeah, we'll work together on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What's everybody's feelings, I guess, as far as raising that from 1650 to 19?
I think it goes back to what we just talked about, with Stevens' wages. Same thing in a nutshell.
Cause I've worked part-time a few times for Sebula for 16 an hour, and sometimes, you know, 1 in the morning, you're like, what am I doing? It isn't even worth it, but,
Yeah.
I think 18 to 19 is very fair, you know, like Matt said, it's, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Right.
I'm not saying that they wouldn't come in and do their job, but, you know,
A lot more enthusiastic.
yeah,
19.
Right,
and a lot more willingness to cover.
you might get more volunteers too.
Exactly, yep.
Yeah, fill those hours.
Very good point.
Okay, well, if there's, Rich?
What do you deal as, or what do you see as an ideal hour service for an auxiliary officer?
You mean,
In
the
addition
shift
to what
that
you
you're
got?
working, or how many hours that you're
Mhm.
working per shift? At least 8 I'd like to get out of them, 8 to 10. I would probably go over 10, I mean, that's what I work now. And, usually if it's a weekday, obviously I'm here, you know, 2 to midnight, and weekends, or Friday, Saturday, excuse me, 5 PM to 3 AM. I'd like to keep it that, you know, if they wanna work the 10, but if they can only do an 8, I'd be happy with an 8. Like I said, any coverage is good coverage.
Right.
Yeah, when you start asking people that already have jobs and there's gonna be interference with families and
Yeah.
they can't, you know, it's pretty hard to balance that, you know,
Yep, that's true.
juggling plate glass and
Take what you
sledgehammer.
get.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's any other discussion on that, does somebody wanna make a motion to set that wage?
I'll make a motion to, take our, part-time, police coverage officer wage from 16 to 19. And also in that Stephen has the, can hire who he thinks is appropriate with the approval of Teresa to fill those positions.
Second,
I'll second.
and roll call.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Patty Hoffman. Patty Hoffman,
Patty, you there?
yes. She said yes. She
Okay.
texted me.
Okay.
Rich Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Girardi,
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Okay. Alright,
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
number 10, departments to present budget. Jack is here.
I'll let Jack go first
Yeah.
and then I'll let Caroline know.
He's got his
Thank you for
gas
coming in.
ready to go, I believe.
Everybody has a copy of that, Jack, so
I know, but you got the numbers.
you do too. Turn your page.
I do too. Just turn the page.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Stephen.
So this is the first time that I know of, that departments are coming forward just to kind of go through the numbers that we've put together and answer any questions that council may have. A lot of it's pretty straightforward. I don't know, Jack, probably, the first big one is travel, conference, and training. You wanna kinda explain to them what goes into that number?
Well, we haven't been going to Des Moines, obviously, with the COVID, but they say they're gonna try and do it again, hands-on out there, but most of that money, if they come, we gotta take the test on the computer. I forget what the rate is, but Ray or Keith, Eric, and I don't remember if Ben is or not, but they're all based on how much you take. I mean, if you're, take all the classes, like $750 for the year per person. If you do just enough to be on call, I think it's down to $250. I am talking loud.
Yeah, like, the total cost just for all of us, without really dividing it out, is almost $3,000 of that 11,500. So, just taking those tests, takes a big chunk of that training. And then with it being both Eric and Jack,
And I think Ben's got quite a few of them too, I think.
yes,
Do you
Ben's
have to
considered.
redo those every year?
Some
Or
of
is
them
it
are just, it's just kinda you do
Like
so many this year,
a
so many
continuing
next year.
education kind of deal out there?
Mhm.
Okay.
And because of their level, they're more, the cost for those guys is more than it is for Ray, Cheryl, or I,
Right, that makes sense.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, are safety meetings included in that or not? That's something different with IMAU.
I think a portion of that is coming out of there. There's certain, items that get divided amongst all the departments just because we get charged as a utility. And so we just divide it out amongst the different, usually it's electric, gas. When it's IMAU, it's electric, gas, water, sewer. And that's Iowa Municipal Utilities Association. So,
That, just jumping down a few here.
Yep.
The gas purchase, is that number, is that fairly close on a yearly basis, or?
It doesn't look like it, that's my.
Now,
That's-
well, this
yeah.
year, we didn't have much drying, you gotta remember that, the corn
Yeah.
drying, so that's gonna be down.
But in 19 they did. That was only 102,000.
yeah, so that might be a high estimate.
But we also cut it down, didn't we?
That one I don't think we did. That one I have at 250. But that one we could probably,
I mean, 19 wasn't extremely wet year. Well, it was, yeah, we had pretty wet
Yeah.
corn and stuff, so.
yeah.
From 100,000 to 86,000.
I didn't know
Seems, to me, it seems astronomically high.
if we could take that down, to around 2.
Even 120, 115.
Oh, we couldn't go that far.
No.
This is half a year.
Yeah.
So if you look at current year
Oh,
actual,
okay, you're right, I'm with you.
okay,
Yep.
Here, I mean, I hope you gotta go more.
Oh, I do too, yeah,
yeah.
I hear you.
So right there, we still have, on this report, we'd have January, February, March, probably part of April. So,
Yeah, we're at 65% with you so far, right, a little over.
How much? 65%?
we're like at
Yeah,
50.
wow.
I mean, it's looking,
I got 65 left, I guess, that's how it is.
yeah, yep.
Of your budget,
So we're, yeah,
correct.
I'm trying to make that, or spend that money.
Like I said, Preston Ag over here, they never dried it once,
Really?
never turned it on.
So,
Is there, our meter program, Jack, where do we stand on that? And is there anything in here for that?
Well, I still have meters from last year, well, with the COVID, we didn't go in,
Yeah.
we tried staying out of the houses.
Well, understood. Where do we stand on that program as far as how much do we have done or left?
We must have got that whole north end of town left. More like one route, really.
mhm.
The
How many
big
meters
route.
do you have, how many meters would you need to finish the program?
I was gonna count them, I don't, shit, I didn't do it. I think I got like 30 down there. I would guess another 50.
Is that something we should put on here to finish that up so we can wipe that out? Or is there, I'm asking you, Jack, what's your
Well,
opinion?
It's in the capital expenditures, 16,000,
It's in there
yeah,
to finish that off?
meters.
what is it? 15. Maybe about 7,500 if you got 50 more.
Yeah, so we've got it covered then,
It should be covered.
yeah.
But who knows when this is gonna
Yeah.
even let up.
Sorry, I'm gonna jump back up to the travel conference and training, just so I make sure, the 5,000, that's what we budgeted last year, right, for this current
Mm-hmm.
year we're in now. But next year, we're gonna go to the 11,500.
Well, the thing is, you're going to see 3,000, a bill for $2,950 come through, that's gonna come off of this year's budget. So you're gonna start seeing that, what we put in for 5,000 last year, I think we're potentially could go in the hole a little bit there, in the red. You know, this year the guys, other than boot camp, there wasn't anything when Eric went.
Yeah, I think there'll be more. I mean, they're hoping, and that's what Rod said, he's,
Yeah.
Where do we stand on that? It's been a couple of years now, Jack, on that odorizer. Did we replace that or
no,
fix it, or?
never have.
And you're comfortable we'll be okay yet, or what's your,
We talked about it,
yeah?
and he said it was put in every year, and I go, well, we really, if we need it, we need it. If we don't put it in.
Yeah.
And we,
Obviously, you're confident for another year.
Oh, yeah, I am. I mean, if it doesn't go down tomorrow, I can always switch over, we got that tank that's buried in the ground, and it just bypasses it. You still get odor in there.
How about your tooling, you tooling all up to snuff?
What's that?
Your tooling all up to snuff?
Yeah, that's what I was,
Your tracers and everything's all good to go?
weren't you talking to about one time about getting,
metal
a
meter,
new, not a meter, but a
Sniffer?
yeah, sniffer.
I guess we did talk about it, but
what did we do last year that we sent and ended up getting new?
I got the new locator.
Okay.
What was that, guys?
Cause isn't that what you borrow from Sevilla sometimes?
Both, yeah.
Okay,
That's why we had the same exact thing I had.
yeah.
Nice to keep that continuity.
Yeah. It works really well.
I didn't know if that was something, like I said, I just remember.
I guess I could call and ask, but I don't know how old this one is.
I just wrote it down, so.
Other than that, I don't think,
Would that come out of capital expenditures too?
Yes.
With, this might be a department, you know, I got a question for, I guess you two, but with all departments, when we go through the budget, you know, with the new city shed, you know, where do we stand? You know, when you said tooling, shelving, whatever we need to be organized and stuff down there, is there any, do we need to think about any of that should be split out between all the departments that utilize that shed to get where we need to be to have that, lack of a better word, stocked, you know?
yeah, we haven't ordered any or gotten any new tools yet, but
More shelving to organize, is that something we need to think about? in
we got a
this budget?
bench. We're still waiting on that
That got
cupboard,
canceled.
now it got canceled, so
Now we got,
for gasoline tanks and
Oh, yeah, all your flammable stuff.
that's been ordered and then it got canceled now. She
got
just said.
canceled.
We're gonna need electric poles sooner or later, I guess I have to ask what kind of inventory we got on that, not for you, Jack, but we probably ought to look into that.
It's on the list for Ray.
Electric pole for it.
I could just think about that if we need things for the city shed,
Yeah.
maybe something to spread out across.
We haven't talked about equipment yet as a group.
We just started, you and I really.
We just started. And he just got his new truck.
Did you get it?
It's here, yes.
Good.
Goes to stuff tomorrow. Get
Undercoated?
undercoated. Then it's gotta go back to McCogan and get the back rack put on in that amber light.
We get
That is something I never thought about till today when I got it. So often I order new trucks. No running boards.
Where do we get a sticker and stuff at? Who will do all that then too?
They did the last time. I hope they got something better.
Yeah, that was, you need something better, like,
Well, the one that's on that red truck I drive now, that's the third set. It's coming on. I mean, it's
oh, I gotcha.
coming off again.
Alright, does anybody have anything they really feel strongly about changing on here, or?
And we'll have the opportunity, you will, to look at this again.
The total, everything together?
Yeah, when with gas,
Okay.
once we get it refined.
My
Just kind-
confidence is boosted because everything we asked I have an answer for, so I think they've talked about it more than once.
The next one, the streets will be a little,
That one's gonna be a little more interesting. Well, Jack, I think you're free to go watch your game.
it's about that time.
Thanks, Jack.
You bet.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. And then
What's that?
we have Caroline.
All right. I gave you the sheet with,
See ya.
Good job.
the full
Good one.
page. I think Teresa put the half page in the packet earlier. With the budget, with Jean Davenport, library, president, and then Teresa and I, things like the salary, IPERS, workman's comp, any building expense, whatever, those types of things that Teresa normally does for all the city stuff, she's gonna be fine tuning those numbers. So the expenses that we dealt with would have been under the categories of travel and conference, books, operational, postage, and programs. And I put in the numbers that we had put in for this year. That's the first column. And then as the library board and I worked, I had suggested for the categories, we actually kind of are thinking, one is we're not sure what's going on yet with incomes and things for COVID. We want to be able to cooperate with the city, try to pull back as much as we feel we can. So we actually, from the previous year, we fine-tuned and actually took $2,800 out. And some of the reasoning, okay, travel and conference, in the past, that's been maybe a $600 number. We had 400 last year, and actually it ended up being a Zoom one-day event. So I sat at home in my comfy clothes and did the library thing for the day instead of being a 2.5-day conference. So I do have to do continuing ed, just like the other city people. Usually the conference is the one time a year that I get to, other than like the Dolly Imagination Library, is the one time a year I get to be by other librarians and be able to talk shop, you know, just like with the other conferences. I have never attended conferences when they've been across the state. I have gone to Des Moines or Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, or this past year it would have been in Dubuque, the closest, but again, we did the Zoom. So we did take a little bit off of that because I think some of the other things are gonna be online more, or as I do more classes online like this year, there's gonna be more available for me to look up in the directory from the state, so I can do a lot more of them online and get certificates to add to my collection, and hand in 3 years. And I do need to do those things. Our library is accredited because I'm accredited. I mean, and there's other things that are in accreditation for the library, but one of the things is you need at least one staff who's accredited. So that keeps me updated and doing the things so we can earn some of the money from the state or from other places. Books, we went down a little bit. We do have a few pots of money that are designated for certain things. So part of our reasoning again is we're trying to help out with the city and keep things as condensed as possible because there's still a lot of unknowns in the next year or so. So I just want to remind you, books, isn't just books. That would be the books on tape, it would be our magazines. I'm not just buying books for grown-ups, I'm having to buy for junior high, you know, teens. I have to buy for 3rd through 6th, you know, K through 3, board books for little ones. So, and the DVDs, movies, you know, etc., puzzles. So that all falls under the category of books. So, you know, even if you kind of figure out that's $1,000 a month on average, by the time you break it out into all those categories, then hopefully you get a few new things. Now, we do have a good community that donates, you know, if they do buy new books, that we do have some people that do help us out sometimes, but that's, you know, we can't count on that necessarily either. But, so that's all things that played into the thinking. Operational, we knocked some of that off, but operational, I mean, that's supplies, that's copy machine, some of the computer type stuff. So there's a lot of things for summer reading. Or this year, because of COVID, we didn't have an official summer reading where everybody was here, but we've been trying to do various holiday bags of, you know, crafts and things, and encouraging people to let us, you know, get books for them to check out. One we've only been at curbside, but right now we're open so anybody can drop in. Postage. 5 years ago, our postage would have been $800, then we went to $400, and I think we can get in at the $200 range. If you notice out in the vestibule, there's a blue tote that's shown up in the last year. That's similar to like Area 9 when they would do the van routes with all the buses, or with the books and the big movie reels and all of that. The state was able to get a grant. You know, they work on federal grants and things. So they've set up a similar system around the state. So there's like 5 main hubs and then routes. So we're a Friday route. So I don't have to spend the postage to mail things back that we've borrowed. So that's, you know, if, you know, somebody gets 5 books or something that I have to get from someplace else, just a paperback book can cost $2.70 to mail back. So, you know, some of the bigger books, $3 and something. So we're trying, you know, to put in a number that will just cover. The exception to that system is the colleges. So if you have somebody that's getting more of an academic type book, and it's not available like in the Des Moines Public Library, or it'll get mailed to us. And then, of course, we have to pay for the postage back because they're not in this system with these blue bags and totes. And then programs, that would be anything like if we were to have some speakers come in and stuff. We've cut back on that. You know, there are grants that I can try to go for, or hopefully we can. I mean, I try to network with a lot of places and things, and I'm in a lot of other organizations to try and bring topics in, or my friends that do the documentaries and stuff that we were kind of getting going, and then COVID. So, but we did cut that back just to see how we get started back up on things. The bottom part, we do get money from the county. That's based on a formula for the 4 libraries. Each of the 4 libraries gets a quarter of half the pot, so they'll take the first half of whatever the county does. We each get an equal amount. And then the rest of it, the other half is based on rural circulation. So when we do our state reports and report that, then they can put that in, and so it fluctuates. And right now with the COVID stuff, we have in the past anywhere from 16,000 to 18,000. We have gotten a bonus the last couple of years because they do like the program that the 4 libraries are doing for Dolly. So they've been trying to, and to make up for other years where when there's been shortfalls, we haven't got as much. So I just kept with that 18,000 because I don't necessarily expect that we would always get that bonus. But if we do, that's good for the library too. And the state, we have 3 different programs, that we, do get reimbursement on. I do a state, a report once a year. Like, we have people that come from Clinton County and use the library. There's no way of collecting on that, you know, like the county is county taxes, city of Preston, city taxes. I live in Springville, so I pay for a card, just like Miles residents would, because there's not a way of collecting. But that's part of how we get some of our state money back. They kind of pay us because we have provided service for them. Library fees and the cards, so library fees are faxing, copies, etc. And the cards would be like Springville miles, what we bring in. We do usually at least get 1 grant a year, if not more, it just depends. They're getting a lot more competitive, obviously, but, so we put that in. We do, like I said, have a few accounts that earn interest, that we do have the possibility that we can move money over, so that's what that transfer from accounts. We do hold a book sale and our magazine donations, and then there's miscellaneous things that come up that we get money. So those are the main sources of income other than what the city provides for the other types of things. And that, like I said, Teresa is going to deal with. So is there anything I missed, or you think?
I think,
Did
does
I explain
anybody
it?
have any questions?
I don't know, I think you did a great, wonderful job.
And so it really hasn't varied too much from the last couple of years, again, especially with COVID and not knowing numbers.
Yeah,
We're
it's
really
hard.
trying to, you know, and we're really trying to cut back ourselves. Even this year, I've been you know, I don't always know, hey, are we gonna shut down all of a sudden?
Right.
Are we gonna, you know, or can I start planning for something?
Yeah,
And then how much do I get for it, or, yeah, so that, it's, and I know you guys go through that same thing, so.
yeah, it's hard being in limbo, trying to predict the future, so.
So that's kind of what the mindset of the library board and myself are, and with Teresa.
Yep.
Jean and Teresa and I talk every once in a while, or Teresa and I do, so.
Okay, I don't have any questions unless anybody else has any.
Okay.
Great
And
job.
thank you for what you guys have always been doing, and
Absolutely, well, thank you very much.
especially this year.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else as far as budgets?
Not for tonight?
Okay. All right, we will move on then, to number 11, discuss and consider how to proceed with acquiring the property on the west side of West Street.
I'm just looking for direction on how we want to proceed. We had the, IIW went through and discussed drainage and kind of give us some ideas there. I just need to know if we wanna start a conversation, as far as acquiring, and see if there's still interest in selling.
In Teresa's email too that she sent out on Friday, she included too that the reason this is coming back up now too is with her meeting with Heidi, our financial, lady.
Northland Securities, our financial advisor.
Yeah, about, regarding the Marvin property and moving forward with, loaning that out and purchasing. If that was something the council would maybe wanna consider adding, if we were to purchase this, property, if that was something we could add on to that loan at the same time.
And that's what makes sense in her mind, that would be the opportunity to do that.
That's what I'm having a conversation with Heidi on Wednesday, cause we're actually looking at being able to come back with some recommendations. And, as far as, you know, how we go about paying for that addition.
I think we should continue talks on it and see what,
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know, what Teresa's thoughts are, but I guess the next step to me would be, for her to reach out and just, start the conversation again as far as, moving forward, if it's.
yeah, we need to find out what that opportunity would be, is
And
still
maybe-
there, what the cost would be,
Right.
and then talk to Northland, how we could possibly finance it.
Yeah.
We must have those details before we can make any good decisions.
Right, and I'll visit with Heidi about that, even when we have the conversation, so she's on the, thinking about that.
Yep, and Teresa, I don't wanna speak for her, I think she just wanted some direction as far as what the council's thinking, on that, if it's still something, that they're interested in, or if it's, we're gonna kinda back off for now and wait.
I think it's just an opportunity, I think that we should see what the opportunity is. That's all that's all you're asking for, right?
Yes,
Yes, I would
Yeah.
look into it for sure. I mean, part of, the drainage involves that area potentially, so.
Yeah.
I will do
Okay,
that.
alrighty. Number 12, discuss and consider resolution 2021-16, a resolution approving a plat of survey for Ivis Grossman. This is just outside of town, right?
It's in the 2 mile.
I assume it's on top of the hill.
That's what
Yeah.
I was assuming.
You know.
Yeah, it's within that 2 mile that council has to approve.
So he's just selling this 32 acres, is that what's going on?
That's the way I
Yeah.
understand it.
I believe they're reading.
Legal terms?
Yeah. It doesn't have anything to do with the city, we just have to approve that's,
Right.
because it's in that 2 miles, I guess.
So somebody wants to make a motion on that? Unless there's any other discussion?
I mean, it has absolutely nothing to do with us, right?
Correct.
I'll do it, I just gotta know how to say it here.
Just,
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021, approving the plat survey for Ivis Grossman.
perfect.
Second?
Second.
And roll call.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Patty Hoffman, has left the meeting. Rich Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Jardy,
Yep.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Number 13, discuss and prioritize the list of projects for IISC. You all have blue dots in front of you. Do you wanna go ahead and do that now, or do we wanna discuss? We probably should discuss.
Does anybody have any questions about the program in general?
Just explain it to us one more time.
Okay, this is through Iowa State, not Iowa, the University of Iowa. I gotta keep my Cyclone and Hawkeye separate here. And it's through Jackson County Economic Alliance. The students at the University of Iowa will pick, if we're chosen, they get to pick 15 projects that they, out of all different engineering, art, marketing, and they'll pick the project that interests them and then collaborate with that city if it's something that can be shared. For example, one of our thoughts is Copper Creek and expanding on that trail. Well, that would be working with Jackson County, maybe Bellevue, maybe Spragueville, you know. So, really what we're doing is we put together, everybody submitted a list or reviewed the list to see if their items were covered. Came up with 15, consolidated 3. We really need to prioritize and My thoughts are we take it and break it into 5 projects that we submit. With the thought being, you know, if, it'd be great if all 5 are chosen, but there is a cost to each one of those, a contribution. Cause this is a shared, effort, with the other towns. So originally, the cost of this is 50,000, but it gets broke down to whatever project, if your project gets chosen. So, go ahead. No,
If we submit 5, but then we say we don't want any more than 3, is that something, or I mean, is it just they pick whatever?
I think they go through and they pick what they want, and there are some there, that would definitely, we'd be working with others, so the cost would be less. But in putting this out there, you know, you're looking like 3,600 to, you know, possibly 5,000 per project. So, yeah. So, Patty called in earlier and we went through it and she gave me her, choices and what priority she wanted to give that. And,
So those are hers that are up there now?
those are hers that are up there now.
Okay.
So,
Can we put more than one on one?
no, it works the same way as it did with goal. I know. Same rules.
Alright,
You want us to do this now, or should we just conduct the rest of the meeting and do it afterwards?
It's up to you.
We kinda almost have to make a decision though, don't we? Because it's
Yeah,
new.
yeah, I say let's stick with this and then we can move on when we're decided. So if there's any other discussion, you have the list here in front of you.
and this list that we have is that list.
Exactly. And the only difference between the lists is that one, if there were any duplicates, they've been put together. As far as like the comprehensive plan, the feeling was that there were 2 or 3 that were kind of separate that would be put in on the comprehensive plan. And I did take our goal setting session and our tier 1, tier 2 goals and put that down in the corner in the corner there, so that if you wanted to look and see, okay, what did we have as an important goal in our goal setting session, it's right there.
So again, these are things that we're at, that in our opinion, we think we might need help doing.
Yes.
We think we can do them ourselves.
For example, Patty has her number 1 being the mapping for sewer and water, with GIS. That is a very time-consuming, expensive project.
Yep.
So it's really sad. We got this little book we get out, so
we
we could.
supposed to number them 1 through 5 too, or just?
If you can.
Priority.
She put like number 1, that was her number 1
You want us
priority.
to do that too.
So if you take your pencil and once you put it up there, you're, say which, if it's a number 1 through 5. So, don't all rush at once.
How about we write them? I won't hold you back.
Thought I had it figured out in my head when I was sitting there, but.
Then you get up there and then you change.
Yeah,
your mind.
it changed when I stood up here.
about a potential sidewalk to, the school from, that new addition up by the church there. There's no connecting, it stops right at, I think, Rose Egger's house. I mean, we got 2 blocks there that's not, doesn't have a sidewalk. Something on sending kids that are in that area to walk to school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're getting there, if they're cutting behind people's houses or whatever, but that was brought up.
Especially as we're gonna add on to that area out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 blocks or something, I'm sure it wouldn't be much to do, I don't know how you
Kinda
go
comes
about.
back in if you can, not sewer, help me out.
Sidewalk incentive.
Oh, where that drainage is there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that.
We had that down, on, you know, on our goals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know, we put another 30 houses out there and hopefully it's a bunch of kids.
Oh.
The culvert in front of the Catholic church only had a one, as far as goal setting session.
Didn't hit it very high then, did it?
No, it wasn't a priority.
I got me one with a 1. Big problem, Rich, what's up with that?
With what?
My culvert.
We have cats, not sheep here.
Where's your culvert at?
Oh, no, it's
on the goal setting one.
down a couple papers,
The red stickers.
yeah,
Oh, no.
Made sure to keep it separate.
I was on that with you, wasn't
yeah, I remember.
I? I saw him on there, yeah, we gotta get safe travel down there.
Well, might be easy to pick our top 5. Wanna do the math? So here's a 5, and there's a 1, a 1, a 2, a 1, and a 2. I guess we're going for low score too, aren't we?
So we have 3 ones on that one.
3 1s and 2 2s. Next, here's another 5, and that was mapping sewer and water. The other 5 was marketing plan for Marvin property. We got a 5, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 3.
So the mapping and GIS is number 1.
That'd be number 1, and the marketing plan for Marvin would be number 2. We got a couple 4s, it looks like. Connecting trails. Got a 2, a 3, a 2, and a 5. Property acquisition has a 3, a 5, a 5, and a 5. So it looks like connecting trails, and then property acquisition. Oh, what do we got? We got a 3, just 1 3, right? Exploration of campground, here number 5. Did you do that right, Adam?
Yep. I guess how many do we want to submit? We don't have to stick at 5.
No, that was just what I just threw a number out there to get us going, so.
I mean, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 that have 1.
At least 1, yeah.
far as submission.
What's our chance if we throw 5 in or we throw 1 in? Where are we better off at?
My thoughts are, I can ask Nick what he suggests and say, we have 5, shall we submit all 5 or
Well, he might
less?
be able to look at the 5 we have too and say, hey, these probably aren't gonna
Yeah,
Yeah.
be very good candidates, or they are,
yeah.
right?
Well, and maybe we could, and I don't know what the other communities like Macocota and Bellevue are gonna submit to,
Yeah.
and how many they're gonna submit, so, I mean, there's a chance.
And I asked him the question, if there's something that they submit that would be more of a partnership, would we be contacted? And, you know, it was kind of vague, cause he goes, well, I don't know what, and I understand that, what they're actually submitting. But what I can do is, have a call with, Dave or Nick tomorrow, let them know what we come up with, and see what their thoughts are on it.
Cause there's no harm in submitting more, you know, either, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that just kinda opens up our options
Yeah.
as well.
And if he says open up more, I'll go down to the 2 and the 1 in that list of priorities, if you're okay with that.
You know,
Most definitely.
Whatever's got,
Yeah, 'cause there's 1, 2, there's 3 of them that have 2 on.
right,
yeah,
right.
so,
Yeah, and they're all, you know, I mean, they're all,
They're all great
Important.
ideas.
you know, in their own aspects, so.
yeah.
Most definitely.
So I will certainly do that.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will move on, number 14, update on Healthy Hometown, I don't know, is there?
We received, and I don't know, Adam, if you want, we received the invite, which I posted on the door.
Yeah. So we're doing a Zoom meeting, I think it's the last Thursday of the month. And then we're gonna get kinda like a walking, like the route we're gonna take.
Oh, okay,
And then, whoever wants to do it can take part.
okay,
And then I think the hope is, you know, weather permitting, to reconvene the following week and discuss the findings.
okay. Yeah, hopefully the weather cooperates.
Right, yeah, this time of year,
Yeah.
yeah, you're kinda rolling the dice.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Number 15, appointing, city council members, to the committees. You all have the list in front of you. We're gonna go with this for now, unless somebody has an objection. And we'll have to update it to, after Patty, is off and we find a new council person. So, that's the list for now, we'll go with that.
So are we gonna schedule like meetings for the committees, like regular meetings, or is it?
Generally, it's as needed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it's decided, if there's enough going on, something big, then there are consecutive meetings, but, for the most part, like, once I do for example, once I do the reviews and kinda get an idea of what other communities are doing for salary increases, I'll come together with the personnel committee. Mayor usually, if he can, attends all committee meetings. And then we discuss what's going on, what should we do for increases, that type of thing. And then come back to city council and talk about that, so we know what we need to do for the budget.
Okay.
Yeah, it like Teresa said, it's kind of an as needed deal, you
Yeah.
know, when we had the electric plant going on, the
Right.
electric committee obviously met quite a bit. And,
we still do.
yeah, you know, so it's,
Yeah, streets,
Okay.
and if anything, yeah, if anything big comes up, or if, really what I like to look at the committees for is, it's to help, give guidance, and also get some input as far as what we need to do,
More boots on the street.
yep,
you know,
so.
so, Okay, that's the list. Like I said, we'll move on with that for now. Number 16, other business. We are extending the COVID sick pay to March 31st.
Would like to.
Would like to? That's not-
What's going on is the governor had a proclamation that gave 2 weeks of sick pay. It was mandated that employees didn't have to use their sick time, their vacation.
Get 80 hours.
They got the
Still
80
got full,
hours.
yeah.
Well, that proclamation expired and was not renewed, but cities are going ahead and by motion extending that to March 31st. Reason being, they don't want employees, well, we're in America, there's a lot of employees that goes to work sick every day.
So extending that, if you get 80 hours through March 31st, is that what you're saying?
Yes,
So if you haven't used it yet, you can still take advantage of it through
Yes.
March 31st?
yes. We're trying to just promote that if you think you have the virus and you're sick, stay home, get tested, don't bring it in.
Will that be something, are we gonna put that, will that be approved, like on the next agenda? Or is that something that's just kinda, we're gonna,
I actually, I thought since I had it under other business, it doesn't need to be a resolution.
doesn't need a motion or anything though?
If I can get a motion,
Okay,
But again, it's not creating another 80 hours,
No.
it's just
the
extending the 80
people that have
hours.
used,
Are out already.
are out, they're out. It's actually just for, people that haven't used any.
Yep, or have time, or have some.
Well, it's like this, we have an employee right now, that's out. They have never used any COVID time. but-
When does the governor say it's done? When was it supposed to end?
December 31st.
Oh, it is December
so
31st.
it is,
Okay.
it is done.
It is done. It's just that cities are taking it upon themselves
Yeah, so now it's
to
on
make sure
individual
sick employees
employers
stay home.
to do it, okay.
We were doing it before.
But you
They,
were getting so we're not getting we were getting government reimbursement, this would be on the
No.
city at this point?
no, we haven't got any government reimbursement. We were told we had to do it.
But if you turned it in, the government would have paid those 80 hours though, right?
No,
Why not?
if there's no reimbursement on it as of yet. Now, we did get reimbursed for, police expenses, but not for any COVID time for employees. And I've been watching, we have a blog, ClerkNet, to see what's been coming up on that.
I thought that was a reimbursement.
I say I must have misunderstood it, because I was pretty sure that
Oh, I thought it was too, and.
that the companies would get paid.
No.
Let's just say Adam's gone from work, his work would turn that into the government pays those 80 hours.
Right, yeah.
I'll double check it,
Yeah,
But-
which I double check that, because
I
I think that's the
will,
way it is.
but
Yeah.
I've been keeping track of that, and we have a spread, we got it in our system, so.
Yeah. Somebody wanna make a motion on that? To extend the sick pay?
Until March 31st.
Yes,
Motion to extend COVID-19 sick pay till March 31st,
Second?
80 hours.
I'll second.
And roll call?
Matt Peterson,
Yeah.
Rich Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Jardy,
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Okay, does anybody have anything else?
Update on the electric plant.
We need to have an electric meeting. It's all up and working. Everything, both generators,
Did the thermostats fix it?
yes. The old OP, Farabee was here and did some replacement, I believe, of, seal or something, and it needs to be filled with water. So that'll be up online Wednesday, back online. They came on Sunday. We were having a heck of a time getting anybody in here to get it fixed, but we should be all good to go.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Second? Yep. Roll call.
Rich Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Jardy,
Yes.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Matt Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Tyler, thank you.